was the consensus of archaeologists that no megalithic architecture had been found anywhere in the world that was more than 6,000 years old. They said, show us another culture that's 12,000 years old anywhere in the world, and we might listen to you. Of course, that changed completely with Göbekli Tepe. And I wonder if some other sites have been misinterpreted, if sites are multi-layered, that many different cultures have been involved in them.
Göbekli Tepe, located in the Şanlıurfa province of southeastern Turkey, is considered one of the most significant archaeological discoveries of the 20th century. This ancient site, dating back to around 9,600 BCE, has revolutionized our understanding of prehistoric human society.
Huge enclosures under the ground that they haven't excavated yet. The story of Göbekli Tepe is just beginning.
This civilization predates the Aztec and the Incas by hundreds of years. The story of its discovery is as fascinating and mysterious as the site itself. Göbekli Tepe was first discovered by Klaus Schmidt, a German archaeologist, in the early 1990s. At that time, the site was mistakenly identified as a Byzantine cemetery due to the visible limestone slabs protruding from the ground, which were assumed to be gravestones. The significance of these stones was not recognized, and the site was largely ignored for several decades. It wasn't until 1994 when Klaus Schmidt, who had been working on Neolithic sites in the region, revisited the site that its true importance was realized.
I think that we are dealing with a lost civilization that was shamanistic in its basis.
Schmidt had been searching for a new project and was drawn to the site after reading the brief mention of it in the earlier survey reports. Upon visiting Göbekli Tepe, he immediately recognized that the stone pillars were not mere gravestones, but part of a much larger and more complex structure. Schmidt's keen eye and deep understanding of Neolithic architecture led him to believe that the site could be the remains of a monumental temple or gathering place. Excavations began under Schmidt's direction in 1995, revealing a series of massive T-shaped stone pillars arranged in circular formations. The pillars, some of which reached heights of over 5.5 meters and weighed up to 20 tons, were intricately carved with depictions of animals, abstract symbols, and geometric patterns. These carvings included images of lions, snakes, boars, foxes, and various birds, all rendered with a level of artistry that was completely unexpected for the time period.
We underestimated the power and intelligence and skills of ancient peoples.
The discovery of Göbekli Tepe was mysterious, not only because of its age, but also because it contradicted established theories about the development of human civilization. Prior to its discovery, it was widely believed that complex societies and monumental architecture did not emerge until after the advent of agriculture and settled life. However, Göbekli Tepe was constructed by a society of hunter-gatherers more than 7,000 years before the pyramids of Egypt. This forced archaeologists to reconsider the timeline of human development and the relationship between religion, social organization, and the rise of agriculture.
Well, maybe we're just wrong about what hunter-gatherers can do. Maybe they're smarter and more sophisticated than we thought they were.
One of the most intriguing aspects of Göbekli Tepe is the sheer size and scale of the site. The stone pillars, with their immense weight and size, are among the largest known megaliths from the ancient world. To put this in perspective, each pillar is comparable in size to the Moai statues of Easter Island, which are similarly massive but were constructed millennia later. The transportation and erection of these pillars would have required a highly organized workforce and advanced knowledge of engineering and construction techniques. This challenges the assumption that early Neolithic societies lacked the complexity and technological prowess to undertake such monumental projects.
These structures at Göbekli Tepe were made by hunter-gatherers, who we know lived in small communities of a couple dozen to a couple hundred people.
The site itself covers an area of approximately 300 meters by 300 meters, but geophysical surveys suggest that there are still many more structures buried beneath the surface. Excavations have uncovered 4 circular enclosures, but experts believe that up to 20 such enclosures may exist, awaiting excavation. The largest of the exposed enclosures, known as Enclosure D, features pillars arranged in a circle with a diameter of about 20 meters. The central pillars of this enclosure are the tallest and most elaborately decorated, indicating their importance in the site's design. The excavations at Göbekli Tepe revealed a wealth of artifacts and structural features that have provided invaluable insights into the site's function and the people who built it. In addition to the massive stone pillars, archaeologists have uncovered tools made from flint and obsidian, including blades, scrapers, and arrowheads. These tools were likely used in the construction of the site, as well as in hunting and daily life. One of the most intriguing finds was the lack of domestic remains, such as houses or hearths, which suggests that Göbekli Tepe was not a residential settlement. Instead, it appears to have been something else, possibly a place of worship or a gathering spot. The absence of agricultural tools or evidence of farming further supports the idea that the people who built Göbekli Tepe were still primarily hunter-gatherers. Interestingly, the carvings on the pillars seem to depict a wide range of animals that would have been present in the region during the time of this structure's construction. Some researchers believe that these carvings may have had symbolic meanings, perhaps related to the spiritual beliefs of the people who used the site. Others suggest that the images could represent a form of proto-writing or a way to record important events or myths. Göbekli Tepe is often referred to as the oldest known temple in the world. Its construction dates back to approximately 9,600 BCE, predating Stonehenge by around 6,000 years. The stone pillars at Göbekli Tepe are among the largest megaliths from the ancient world, with some weighing as much as 20 tons. The precision with which these stones were carved and erected is remarkable, especially considering the lack of metal tools or the wheel. The carvings on the pillars are not only numerous but also of exceptionally high quality. The depictions of animals and symbols are rendered with a level of detail and craftsmanship that indicates a deep understanding of both the natural world and artistic expression. The question of who built Göbekli Tepe and why is one of the most intriguing mysteries surrounding the site.
If there was an advanced civilization that lived, say, 30,000 years ago, which is what Graham thinks, where is their trash?
Given the lack of written records from this period, we can only speculate based on the available archaeological evidence. One prevailing theory is that Göbekli Tepe was built by a group of hunter-gatherers. The site may have served as a pilgrimage center or a communal gathering place where different groups came together. The scale of the site suggests that it was of great importance to its builders, possibly serving as a focal point for their lives. The carvings on the pillars, which depict animals, abstract symbols, and human-like figures, could represent deities, spirits, or mythological beings that were central to the beliefs of the people who built the site. The T-shaped pillars themselves might symbolize human figures, possibly representing ancestors or gods. The construction of Göbekli Tepe is a testament to the ingenuity and capabilities of its builders. The sheer size and weight of the stone pillars raise questions about how a society without advanced technology could have achieved such a feat. While some have speculated about the involvement of extraterrestrial beings or lost advanced civilizations, most archaeologists believe that the site was built using human labor.
The handiwork of humans is clearly evident in this site.
The quarrying, transportation, and erection of the pillars would have required a well-organized workforce and a deep understanding of stone-working techniques. The builders likely used simple tools made from flint and obsidian to carve the pillars, and they may have employed wooden sledges, ropes, and ramps to move the stones into place. The age of Göbekli Tepe was determined through radiocarbon dating of organic materials found within the site. This method measures the decay of radioactive carbon isotopes in organic remains, providing an estimate of the time since the material was last alive. Radiocarbon dating of charcoal samples taken from the site indicates that Göbekli Tepe is over 11,600 years old. This makes Göbekli Tepe the oldest known large-scale structure built by humans, predating even the earliest known agricultural communities. One of the most puzzling aspects of Göbekli Tepe is the fact that it was deliberately buried around 8,000 BCE, after being in use for over 1,000 years. The reasons for this intentional burial remain unclear, but several theories have been proposed. One theory suggests that the site was buried as part of a ritual closure. The burial might have been a symbolic act, marking the end of its use as a sacred site. This could have been done to preserve the sanctity of the site, to protect it from desecration, or it could have been for more sinister reasons that are unknown. Another theory posits that the burial was a practical measure. The site may have become structurally unstable over time, and the builders might have decided to cover it to prevent it from collapsing or being damaged by the elements. This theory is supported by the fact that the burial seems to have been done with great care, using materials that would have helped to preserve the structures beneath. But does it make sense to partake in a feat so large using so much manpower? The true purpose of Göbekli remains one of the most hotly debated topics among archaeologists. While it is generally agreed that the site had a religious or ceremonial function, the specifics of its use are still unclear.